Hello. Third time's a charm recording this one. So I pulled cards ahead of the video to try and speed things up a bit. I pulled cards for two different people. I thought that this would be a fun kind of different reading, and then I'll do another reading also for, just the individual strong energies for the day. So in this reading, we have a person on this end of the energy who is very much creating and manifesting with their intuition. They're setting their sights out on the horizon with what is kind of being like guided towards them, right? So like what they're getting in their meditation, in their dream time, their intuition, gut feelings, whatever, working with their intuitive faculties and really looking out and working with those energies to begin creating what feels like a new possibility for themselves. They're also in this place where they are so then I'm going to go over to this. So then we have this person over here who is very much looking back in the past, and is kind of this reminiscing energy of when they were more independent, when things were easier, and when they had, I guess I want to say more free choice, they weren't so obligated to doing things that maybe they feel more obligated to doing now. So then we go back over to the energies in the middle, which is the energies between both of you, what this kind of creates. And we have 2 5 cards, and 5 in numerology is the number of change. So there's shifts that are coming in for both of these energies separately and together. When we look at the 2 5s that came out, we have the 5 of Wands and the 5 of Cups. So we see that there is struggle with emotions, that there's been a lot of discord and just a lack of harmony in our internal feelings. I get the sense that kind of what our external world has been showing here hasn't really been what's going on inside. I think that a lot of this has been stuff that has been kept inside and not so much discussed or broadcasted, because the overarching energy here is the moon, which is those things that we kind of keep in the dark, right? We have a full moon that is coming. We also have a lunar eclipse on the 30th, which is Monday. Sunday's my birthday. So eclipses bring around a lot of change themselves, and I feel like that's probably going to be a big energy. It's probably already starting to really come up for this group of people. That energy is already kind of preceding the eclipse, I am sure. So then I went back over to this first person who's really, in their intuition. And I got this person being very decisive with their thoughts. It came up with the Lover's card, which is usually a choice between 2 people. I'm going to get a clarification on that because I want to make sure before we get set on that, but it's a choice nonetheless. And I showed this Lover's card yesterday, but it's 2 people that are very much in like this rapturous state with each other, I definitely don't think they had a hard time making this choice, and it's hard for me to say. It's honestly really hard for me to feel like this is a choice card the way that it's supposed to be. So I'm going to recant it. What I feel when I look at this card is that this person is very much in a place where they are making wise decisions for themselves about what brings about that feeling. This person is very much in a place where they are looking at what inspires me, what kind of lights my fire, that impassioned feeling. What she's done is locked away her emotion, but it's not that she is not using her emotion. I actually look at this as if she is protecting her emotions. So down here we have the cup with water, and the cups in tarot are our emotions. So she's in this like expanded state, right? We have the high priestess over it. She's working with her intuition. She's not in her head in this logical way where, she's going over and over her thoughts in confusing herself and whatnot. She's very much working with her intuition and what she's receiving, but she's protecting her heart. I feel like she's probably been in this place before where she's had to make decisions and her heart's probably gotten hurt. Her feelings have been hurt, and she's in a place now where she's learned how to take care of herself and not just hand that cup away so freely, and make sure that where she's allocating that energy, that emotion is right for her. And she's looking out at the Lover's card, very much like there's this decision that she's making, but she's making sure that it's right for herself this time. Above the Lover's card is where we have that Two of Wands that was coming in, with where we're manifesting with our intuition, with our guides, from a very spiritually grounded place. And that tells me that this person's focus right now is very much on manifesting a beginning. The twos are new beginnings. High Priestess is also a two card, so this person's very much in a new beginning state of mind where they are manifesting a new start with a person, or at least are in the place of figuring out how to begin manifesting that, right? She's setting out that intention and just trusting in her guides in the universe that whatever the way is, it'll be shown to her. So then we go over to this other person. We have the Wheel and we have the Ace of Swords. What this says to me is that this person is waiting for fate to kind of illuminate the truth for them. This person, in their minds, I feel like they kind of have a little bit of additional insight coming in, more of realizations about why they are so reminiscent on this energy from the past when they were more independent and had that more solo energy of being able to go and do whatever they would please. What was more satisfying and fulfilling for them and felt less depleting. When I look at this Five of Cups that's next to that energy, it's a very depleting feeling. It's very much like, she's literally just dumping the cup into this hole in the ground. It's like I've done all of this and I should feel satisfied. I should feel fulfilled, but I don't. And why? Like I'm running myself ragged and it doesn't feel like it's for a good purpose. I don't really see the end goal the way that I thought I was going to when I went into this. So the wheel is turning, and even when it feels like everything around us is catastrophically awful, the wheel's always turning in our favor. There's a lesson to be pulled from it. There's some sort of growth that has potential to come out of it. And for this person, the growth, the potential that can come out of this is their truth, what is true for them. This person is on the precipice of that. So we have, what can I say? So this person has their truth. They're kind of a little bit leaving it out of their hands, though. It's a little bit like waiting for that thing to happen that kind of like tilts the wheel one way or the other for them. But I feel like a balance there. There isn't fear on either side of these. A little bit of caution on this side. And this person is just kind of like getting into their feelings, which is a good thing to do. So then we have this person that really, it's like creating with reckless abandon what is bringing them passion, really getting into that. This is my life, and I'm really starting to get that now, and I'm working past the struggles that I've experienced before, the lessons that I've had, especially when it comes to creating for themselves. And I'm beginning to step into my energy. I'm really stepping into creating my life. We have this person over here who is kind of planting like the seeds of intention. It's like putting these little feeler thoughts and and asks out there, maybe it is, show me the way. What way am I supposed to be going? Maybe it is, show me what is worth my energy, what I should be growing. Um, and then watching and seeing what grows, what does take root and become something meaningful, and what kind of just fizzles away and doesn't really make anything. And again, this is all stuff that is more kept to ourselves. It's not like broadcast out to everybody. So we did have in the fairy cards, we had Indy, who is the Fae of indecision. He is that classical, wishy-washy, I want this, but what if that happens? But if I take that, what if I miss this? And if I do this, then what if that person's hurt? And if I do that, then what if I lose out on this? Constantly going back and forth, where making a decision might have an ill consequence in the end, but not making a decision also could have an ill consequence in the end, right? So he really kind of brings up that lesson of like, there comes a time when something just has to happen, and you have to make a decision, or you have to just trust what you're feeling and start to find for yourself what your truth is. Step into saying, I might not be 100% sure yet, but of these parts I am sure, and that part I am owning. That part is me. I drew 3 oracle cards for my fairy tale deck, and it kind of gave me a little bit more insight into where these energies are coming from. So on this side, we had this story of this girl who's always shy and kind of mocked because nobody really understood her. And she always kind of was kept in the shadows, not very much appreciated, and therefore didn't really know who she was and didn't feel worthy. And one day she has this fairy godmother that comes to her and says, if you could have a dress that looked like anything, what would it look like? And it's made for her right there in front of her eyes as she's describing it, and it's given to her. And this fairy godmother tells her to step into who you are, that you are just as deserving of all of the other beautiful things that everybody else has as everybody else, and that this is yours and you should own it and be proud of who you are. You are different, you are unique, you are an individual, and it's not for everybody else to understand, and that's okay. And then we had this guy over here with Hansel, but it's all about survival. It's about how, feeling abandoned by, those close to him, his family, specifically in this card. In this story, it's his father and his stepmother abandoning him and his sister and leaving them in the middle of the forest with a very little bit of bread to kind of make it on their own. And Hansel takes it upon himself to step up and be the big brother and try and problem solve this, get them back home, leave the breadcrumbs in the hopes that he could follow the trail back that his father and stepmother led them in on. But then the birds eat the breadcrumbs, and it's one problem after another with the solution, a problem with the solution, but he's forever trying to fix the problem and step up and say, I can do this, and I'm strong enough for this, and I'm going to survive. We are going to survive. So I feel like this person's probably been through a lot of like survival mode mentality in their life, and probably finally in a place where they're feeling stable, like I said in the beginning, but it's like, I have this stability, but it isn't really what I thought it was going to be. It's like a version of what was possible, but not quite it. What is it? And that's kind of what they're waiting on. It's because you haven't stepped into your own truth yet and said, this is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I expect. This is what I think. This is what I believe. This is what I know. So you're not getting that when we are kind of all over the place, and we're not very grounded in what it is that we know, think, believe, feel, want, are. Then we kind of get a melting pot of everything, right? It's not usually very satisfying. And then over here we have somebody who has never really been very, has never really felt very accepted and is quite shy in who they are. And I feel like, as I said, she locked away her feelings. She's probably had her feelings hurt a lot in life, and she's learned to protect herself. And in this story, it was her staying shy and quiet, subdued in the background, very reserved, but it, it's like also being in that position, she was able to kind of get right with her own emotions and in her own mind and know how to be more decisive for herself. As soon as that fairy godmother shows up at a door and says, "What would your perfect dress look like?" she can say exactly immediately, this is what it is. She's not wishy-washy about it. It's as if having this time alone with nobody around her and with her own feelings and her guidance and nothing else, she's been able to figure out exactly what it is that she wants that would create that satisfaction for her, which obviously isn't a dress, but it's incredible symbolism for her knowing that she can finally step into the power of just being her and being just as deserving as everybody else has been around her of what it is that they have, and that nothing anybody said about her mattered at the same time. It was all just their delusion of who she is. Um, the energy between the two was this fairy tale of um, this this girl whose brothers are turned into swans. They're taken away from her. The people that she loves are taken. They're still there, but it's not the same. They can't talk to her, right? They're not playing. They're not. She can feel them. She can see them. She can go talk to them, but they're not reciprocating, right? And this witch comes and tells her that you can have your brothers back if you take these stinging nettles and you smash them up and you turn them into 11 coats for the swans and then throw them over your swan brothers. They'll be transformed back into what was. You'll have your brothers back. But you cannot speak a single word until this is done, or it will be like a slash to their heart, and it's going to be painful. They're stinging nettles. Your hands are going to be destroyed. Your feet are going to be destroyed from walking into the pond to get the stinging nettles next to the cave that you're living in. You're going to be in solitude and it's going to be painful. But in the end, this is what you get. And she's willing to go through that because of the love that she has for them. It's almost like both of these people, they're not like talking. They might not even know each other, but it's like they've had this separation between them or they haven't met yet. So they could both get very right with who they are in this dynamic when they come together. It will have all been worth all of that pain and all of that hurt and all of that aloneness to have that perfect partner where you're not alone anymore. Does that make sense? I hope so. It makes sense to me. That feels complete. Do I have anything that I want to pull cards on? Maybe get a little bit about the wheel. Maybe a timing. This person's having an awakening. Death and rebirth, hangman. This is really starting to so this is like things falling away that are not meant for us, right? We're releasing the things that are not serving us, having that trust that something greater will come out of that, and having a different perspective on it. So this person is in this place, or soon will be in this place, where they're getting a different perspective on. There is something about communication, which makes sense, looking for your truth. So I think it feels and it looks to me like there is this shift that is coming in how this person is actually looking at how they've communicated their needs in the past, how they've communicated what they're wanting and what they're needing, and that maybe they weren't clear enough about it. Maybe they didn't, really ask for what it is that they want. I feel like they kind of more took what was given to them and just made that right in their mind, as opposed to saying, I see what it is that you're offering, but I kind of also need this, and like up leveling it. Does that make sense? So it's really going into this new perspective about how can I shift this, because I do want something different than this, I need to find a new way to communicate. I need to feel more empowered and what is the word I'm looking for? It's like on the tip of my tongue. Well, sovereign, let's say, in knowing that what it is that I want is acceptable, and that if I am speaking these things, we can at least have a discussion about how that need can be met, type of a thing. And I think that that's not just in like a relationship, if this person is currently in one, which it feels like it, but this obligation that feels heavy could just be like work or family obligation. But it feels like across all walks of life, I think that this person has a slightly difficult time with being able to communicate clearly what their needs are and making sure that those needs or that their thoughts are being received the way that they're intending, without them kind of cutting it short. And instead of having a knowing that this is what I wanted, this is what I need, and I'm going to say that, they kind of like dull it down a few shades so that it's more acceptable and appropriate, if that makes sense. I feel really like resolved in everything. If you resonate with this and you would like further reading into it, reach out to me. I also do personal readings, so you can reach out to me for those as well. I'm going to go record another video for the overarching energies of the day. I will be camping this weekend. I'm going to try very, very, very hard to still put out videos because I don't want to fall behind, or I will be behind. I hope you all have an amazing day of gratitude tomorrow. I will see and hear from you all soon, and have a great night. Thank you.